Okay, geez, that took a freaking while, didn't it? Welcome, good morning. Guten Morgen. Let's do ECS things. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Good. Okay. Chats are set up, I think. We are good there. Try to insert an ad real quick and see what happens. I'm curious. Ad. A YouTube Shorts ad is playing right now. Allegedly. Ad inserted. What does that actually do though? Because it's not running on the live stream. Yeah, I don't think that actually does anything. I mean, if I insert an ad on the horizontal stream, does that do anything? I don't think so. I don't think are the ads working? I don't know. It used to prompt me to enable the automatic ads, but now it doesn't. That's kind of annoying, actually. That is kind of annoying, actually. Okay, but we're all set up, good to go here. Yesterday, what did we do? We did the query builder system, which is working very nicely. It works. It's very nice to use. It looks slick and clean and very nice. How do you feel about the Russian flanker series of fighter jets? Oh, my favorite series of flanker fighter jets are the Russian ones, of course. Yes, I mean, who's any right-minded autistic kid would agree with me there. That the Russian series is the far superior series. Now, if we're not talking flanker jets, what are we talking about? You know, that's very autistic of you to ask. But thank you for that. But yeah, I was working on the query system. It's nice and slick. What are you building right now? Nothing yet. I'm just kind of getting started. Getting started with the day. Getting started with the day here. Just kind of talking about what we did yesterday. Yeah, so I was working on the ECS. We did a query builder system, kind of did a refactor there, and to make it more expressive so that I can do things like exclusions and like I can say, hey, give me any entities that don't have a particular set of data, right? I didn't have that ability before, but now I do. So it's nice and powerful. I also did optional data. So we'll see. I haven't actually tried to use that yet though. So I think today might be a day where we try that because I want to fix the representation processor. There's a couple bugs in there. Well, there's one bug in there for when actors spawn within radius of myself. And another, not a bug, but like I just need to turn off the actors or the instances. I need to remove the instances when they're not being invoked because we wrote the invoker. We wrote the invoker settings as well, the invoker processor. So yeah, let me pin a comment for the shortsers. Let me see here. UE, C++, game dev, RPG, Colony Sim, procedural terrain. Okay, pin that shit. Okay. So yeah, I think what I need to do is just work on the representation processor here. Let's dive into that a little bit. Well, let's recap the invoker processor here. So I did time slice it. I time sliced it as well. So it's running a lot better. At the end of the stream yesterday, I was just going down a bit of a rabbit hole on how to optimize the for each in radius, which I have some new ideas after, going offline and just thinking about it a little bit harder, because, for a radius of 10,000, which is hard coded for now, this returns like a lot of terrain chunks to check. So actually just doing the raw iteration over those terrain chunks was adding a bit of overhead, even when trying to pool memory allocations and whatnot. So yeah, I kind of kicked that can down the road. I have some ideas on like maybe only updating entities whose chunks have changed and having to like write a system for that. So I'm wondering if the chunks are big enough, then I don't really need to reconsider a lot of entities, especially if they're going to be spread out in the world. But I kind of want to kick that down the road, because time slicing honestly just made this pretty trivial. It made it pretty trivial. I'll just do a quick trace here for a second. Give me just a few frames, yeah. Give me a few frames. We'll take a peek. What do we got here? Yeah, so I time sliced it over the course of a second. So I love you as a brother by trying. Well, thank you. I love you as a YouTube Shorts chatter. So I don't, as strong as love as that can be. But see here, we have the invoker processor process entities. Like, I think the full thing was taking like 30 milliseconds ish. And then I just time sliced it over the course of a second. So every single entity will get updated about every second when it comes to checking whether or not they should be invoked. Is making AI hard? Are we talking game dev AI or LLM AI? I mean, I think the answer to either one is the same. It can be like, I think the base level of it can be pretty easy, but it's when you try to take it to the cutting edge where it gets hard, Yeah, we time slice this over a second, and it running in less than a millisecond. So we're fine. We're fine. I remember back before I did a few, I followed a few Kaggle courses on machine learning. And like, they had you just build an AI basically, but it was one of those like AIs where it was like, hey, classify dogs and cats in a picture. And it just like basically just had you run like these TensorFlow PyTorch things. That's like, I didn't do anything. The model just kind of like, I just like wrote some code to take in data, train the model in like a little tiny ECS node, and then Elastic Container Service. And it was like, yeah, it just classifies dogs and cats. And I was like, okay, but I didn't really do anything. Like I just followed the tutorial, so I felt like I didn't really learn anything there. Game dev lol. LLM is probably much harder. Yeah, I mean, I think it just kind of depends on what you're doing with each one, right? Like, you can make game dev AI really complicated, right? Like, you can do the whole GOAP, goal-oriented action program, or I forget what it stands for, but GOAP is like I've heard that term a lot. So yeah, I think it just kind of depends on how far you take it. I think getting game dev AI set up is pretty trivial. And just getting them to kind of just move around and stuff can be easy. But it's when you start making it more complicated, and then they need to make decisions, and then, maybe you start doing like weights and selectors and all this kind of stuff, You can like kind of point each action as to like, do some RNG as well to make them feel like, you can do a lot with it. So it's quite a large range in difficulty, I would say. But yeah, we need to fix the representation processor. So what happens is, well, I think I changed all of the green guys to be invokers, so they're not going to turn off. Oh no, they are turning off. Oh, but they're just going out of range. Okay, hang on. We gotta to test this, I need to turn off the green guys being invokers. Or at least they need to take their invocation radius down to 0, so that I can witness the yellow guys getting turned off. So just keep backing up there. So they're all still spawning. And then I think we'll slowly start to see the yellow guys kind of freeze. Yeah, I can see it. So yeah. The green guys disappear, but they're still running. Okay. But I think this is the first example of where we're going to need optional data. So let's try for with optional. And we would want F simulating entity tag. And I suppose that I think we're getting, yeah, that as a pointer is what we would get. Okay. So I guess just the existence of this is all I really need to check. Has valid actor representation. LOD data should have actor. I just need to work this into all these different conditions here. So we can just do bool b is simulating. Not equal to null pointer. And I guess I just need to check, like, if it should have actor and he doesn't have an actor and we are simulating, or he doesn't have an actor, or he shouldn't have an actor but he does. If he shouldn't have an actor, and this is probably, we do either he shouldn't have an actor or he's not simulating and he has an actor, we need to turn it off. Right. As valid ISM. Okay, so if we should have a valid ISM and we don't have one and we are simulating, and then this one should be the same, where it's like if we shouldn't have an ISM or we are not simulating. Oh, I copy pasted wrong. There we go. And I think that's good there. And then if we have a valid instance at the end of that, we do all this other stuff. Okay, so let's see if that compiles, because I haven't actually tried the with optional here, so we may get some nasty errors. Oh yeah, there we are. There we are. Okay, let me rebuild so I can get those errors in a more readable format here. Syntax error. Hang on. Okay, what do we got? What do we got here? Oh, I did double ampersand. Yeah, that's not how you should write that. My copy pasta skills are a little rusty this morning. Let's try that again. Okay, wow, that was actually easy. Okay, we'll see if that's actually valid. We'll see if that works. So, I'm just trying to delete the ISMs, the instance static meshes, and the and/or actors. Although they should never have an actor when they're that far away. So that one I would have to change some things for that to happen. But we'll just test the ISM one for now. So keep backing up, back it up. Okay, wait for them all to spawn. I should take a peek into spawning and try to speed that up a little bit. I think that'll get better whenever we get rid of components. Okay, yeah, it's turning them off. I can see it, yeah. And then the green guys have a little bit farther range. They're getting cleaned up too. Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, nice. Nice, that's working flawlessly. What is that? Hang on, what is that? What the heck, man? Why didn't that get cleaned up? many instances do we have here? There are 995 instances. Oh, because we're not, I guess we're not cleaning up attachments. Is that the case? Do I need to do that as well? The attachments are going to be very annoying. Yeah. I guess I need to work that in here. Okay, but yeah, I guess I need to throw this in here. If we shouldn't render attachments is basically like if it's should and be is simulating. Is that all I need to add here? That might be if should render attachments. Okay. Yeah, if we're not simulating, they should be removed for sure. And I'm actually kind of excited. Dr. Elliott hit me with like some super deep Unreal Engine knowledge. He got it from like, I guess CDPR was like doing a little talk on some things that they've optimized in the engine. And he found out that you can just like add mesh primitives to like the scene itself, and you don't need a component at all for it. And you can just do it completely off the game thread. So that's going to be super exciting to try out once we get there. Yay, look at them all go. Yay, boop, 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 boop. Okay, pause for a second. Where are my ISMs at? Zero instances. Zero instances. Okay, I think that's good. Let's go the other way. There we go. Now they're all popping back. Still moving and grooving. Still moving and grooving. Yeah, they have that one frame of like calculation that they have to do, you know? Which I can probably do better at. I think I'm doing that in two different processors, so there's like a little flicker. Flicker, barely know her. Okay. So that looks good. Okay, so let's, I want to commit that real quick. So let's say, what are we saying here? Remove ISM instance static meshes and actors when not simulating. That worked beautifully. That was so easy. The query system is querying. It is. Now, the other thing, there's a bug here somewhere where if they spawn as an actor within the radius of my character, they're just stuck in T-pose until they switch. Until they switch over. So I want to fix that real quick too while I'm here. So that's got to be switch to actor. We get actor from pool, but we probably, I forget if I'm like spawning these or what I'm doing. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh yeah, all of this. Ew, God. Can I change this? Can I change this to a query now? Well, no, because oh, wait a second. I don't think I'm doing this at all, because game thread updates. Yeah, game thread updates is just not even being... Okay, we should probably... Let's delete this. Let's delete this, because this is just all old code now. Let's delete that, and just make sure that that's not used anywhere. It's not. It's not. Okay, I am doing that. ISM subsystem. Yeah, we're still using that. We're still using all of that other stuff. Game thread updates is an unused struct now, so we can get rid of that. Okay, beautiful. From where can we learn coding? There is free information all over the internet, my good sir. So you can learn programming from a lot of places. I would encourage you to give that a Google search, and it will point you in the right direction, I am sure. I just spilled coffee on my white pants. Yay. Okay, so where is this little... It's probably spawn actor. We set the location. Enable or disable actor, spawn actor. Yeah, so I guess we just start them disabled, but then when we switch to actor, we grab one from the pool. How many years of experience do you have? What, in life? 30. Experience in what, my dude? So why would this spawn T-post, huh? Why would we T-post spawn this guy? I'm wondering if it's the handle proxy actor. Handle proxy actor, of course, we're just passing attached data there. So a lot, I mean, maybe I should, yeah, this whole thing. This whole thing. Which programming language is best used for gaming? You don't pick a programming language, you pick an engine. And then the engine will dictate what language you need to use. And if you have to ask, you shouldn't be making your own engine. Because you're not ready. Do you work for Blizzard? Nope. Thankfully, I don't. Thankfully, I don't. So let me think here. So handle proxy actor. This is just setting up the equipment, enabler, disable avatar. The avatar. Ability anim queue. Trigger current ability anim. I remember using old school Delphi or Visual Basic 3.0. Using .bas files. I wish I stuck with programming. Well, no better time to start new things than yesterday. You can get back into it, my dude. Yeah, I think maybe the anim, because like the actors are animated with the anim instance. So I'm wondering, let's start one here, and then let me just pause real quick. So you see how all these guys are just T-posed here? Yeah, we got to fix that. So what is your... Can I see the anim, the actual anim instance? I guess I have to like go in here and look at the debug thingies. Spawned selected. Yeah, okay, so what's the deal here? It's been a while since I've looked at this. Set speed and direction. Okay, so what? Let me pull up my anim instance here. I know that this has a entity avatar change implementation. I'm wondering if this just like doesn't get hit or something. And where are we calling this? From where are we calling this? Representation processor. Enable or disable actor. Entity interface. That would be on the actor itself. Ah, here. So after it's linked and stuff. Let's put a breakpoint there. See if we get here. Why is this already out of I don't know what to call this. Like, it's not hit. I need to live coding. Dennis, thank you for the follow and welcome back, or welcome in. What exactly are you doing? I am working on an ECS for my game because I want to run the entire world. And it's a very large world. I want to run it to make it feel alive. It's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain. And I want to run the whole world so that all the different colonies across the world can be running, whether you're there or not. Of course, I did that during gameplay, so that's going to look bad. Okay, let's try it again. Pause. I guess we do get here. We do be linking the anim instance. Okay, so let me go into the animation instance here. ASC, null pointer. These are all null pointer. Get component from object, new avatar. The avatar. Yeah, so we cast that to an entity interface. I don't know, for the avatar classes, which are just like that's just a facade. It's a lie. So I need to, what is it? My NPC character. Are you a entity interface? You are. You have a set entity? You do. Okay, is that called though? Well, I guess I can look, right? I guess I can just look. Yeah, you do have an entity set on you. Okay, let's break. I should be getting here. I do. Proxy actor, not valid. Okay, so I think it probably is because I changed my proxy actor to not get initialized until later. Does my initialization processor run first? It should. It should. Would you do a playthrough of Bitburner? I think it's called. It's basically a game where you code in different languages to complete the game. Would be fun to see you speedrun it. No, not really interested in doing that. Sorry. I'm only interested in working on this. So how are my processors? I do init first, but I guess the proxy actor doesn't get added until later. Or yeah, because it's a delayed add. So I wonder if like the init, here's what I want to do. Maybe we need to incorporate the simulating tag in there as well. Let me look at how the invoker processor runs here. And let me look up the... I guess we don't really consider the F simulating entity tag. Let us do that. Yeah, so it's used all over the place now. So I'm thinking maybe I should just add it here. Where does it get added initially? I forget. I guess the invoker processor has to pick it up. But I thought I like did something with spawning. Yeah, the spawner. Here we go. So I just add it automatically to the invokers. Let's do this. You add entity data. Let's do it in here. Is this gonna work? I don't know if this is gonna work. Simulating. We're actually just gonna add that. And we're gonna add that. I guess we only add that if it's an invoker. So with optional F invoker entity data. Then I'll go const invoker data. I'll say if invoker data subsystem add simulating tag. But the enemies are also T-posed. And they wouldn't get... I guess it's because the representation processor is... I think I need to run that last, or at least I need to run... I think I just need to run the... Okay, so let's rebuild there. I think I need to run the invoker processor before all the other ones. Well, no, because it's just gonna delay add anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So wait, why are the enemies getting T-posed as well? It would make, I think I understand why the colonists would be, because they start as simulating. Or they're at least attempting to. And I would have thought these should have actor. Like the changes I made in the representation processor actually would have helped with this. Lawrence, welcome in. Hello. I can show the procedural terrain here real quick. Let's try a new seed. So it's seeded deterministic random, so kind of like Minecraft or something like Valheim, where you can input a seed and a different world will spawn. Here's my procedural terrain. This one's kind of boring. This one's a little boring. Kind of all flat. These mountains are like the borders to my zones. Yeah, here's the world. I did spawn in the more interesting zone here, but I have two different biomes right now. Two different ones. This is my meadows biome, and then here's the world map. So I guess I'm on like kind of an island right now, or a peninsula. But yeah, this is just a little peek. Just a little peek at the world. We have the underground caves as well, which was a huge pain in the ass to get working, but you know, welcome in. Is this for a game jam? Oh no, I've been working on this for 3 years. That's very cute that you think that this could be done in within the time of a game jam. That is very cute. No, this took a long time and a lot of effort. And I knew nothing about game development before I started working on this, or Unreal Engine, or C++. So it's been a very big learning journey for me. But I'm working on the ECS for it right now, and that's because like I want to run the whole world, so I'm only rendering about this much right now, a radius of this much, and it's gonna be Colony Sim. So if you make a colony here, and then maybe you have another colony like way over here or something, like I want those both to be running regardless of where you're at. And that's gonna require me to run thousands and thousands and thousands of entities, and I want that to make the world, you know, feel alive and stuff. I'm working on an ECS system to do so. Looks sick. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Can I even get up here? This might be too steep for me to walk up. Yeah, it's a bit too steep. Oh dear. Oh, please let me up. Let me up. Thank you. That's cool. Wishing the best of luck. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, still super early in the process. The scope of the project is pretty large. So, and these are all just like placeholder assets, you know, free ones that I've picked up over the years. So, won't look like this when it's fully complete either. Should I jump? Should I do it? I'm gonna fall through the world, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there I go. There I go. Well, there's the caves. Ow. Yeah, I don't know like what the deal is with the fall collision there. And this lighting makes 0 sense. I feel like it might have something to do with my mantling settings. And we're just gonna keep generating. Okay. Back to work here. Let's see the entities here. Okay, I think that actually worked. Yeah, I mean they start T-pose for a frame and then they fix themselves. Okay, that's good. Okay, we actually did fix it. Nice. Okay, so we fixed it. That was easy. That was easy. Fix entities, entity actors spawning as T-pose. Oh, okay. I thought that was gonna be, I thought that was gonna take longer to fix. Now I don't know what to work on. Now I don't know what I want to work on. Hey bro, if you remember me, I made some progress in working on a small project, but I just got a thought. Do I have to do data structures and algorithm for every programming language I learn? What do you mean, do I have to? Like, no one's gonna force you to. What do you mean, do I have to? How many entities are there now? I mean, it's still just the test for 2,000, so we're just continuing to use that 2,000 number as like a metric. Okay, I guess we could get into just using the scene for meshes now, which is interesting. Let me take a look at where we're at in terms of performance based on our last trace here. Just want to look at a frame. Yeah, so I guess the velocity processor does need some work. It does need some chopping up. It would be nice to get that into, you know, it would be nice to do velocity and gravity in two different processors, I'll say. The concepts of data structures and algorithms are generally language agnostic. But it can, I mean, I assume that doing some data structures and algorithms type of questions and stuff in different languages can give you a good understanding of the language, just because you'll know the new methods and stuff to use. But yeah, I mean, no one's going to force you to, and nothing is necessary, right? It's all just kind of like, what is best for you, right? Just do what's best for you. And if you don't know what's best for you, you need to figure that out. So the representation processor is actually running quite swell, and I'm thinking like I'm going to time slice the state tree, because I don't need the state tree to run every frame. It could run every other frame, you know? I don't need frame perfect decisions on the entities. That could scale pretty well. The velocity processor seems to be my worst one now. We're doing like a bunch of like line traces and stuff like that. And ugh. Why is apply control input half of the velocity processor? That seems like trivial work. Oh, probably because we're doing get movement entity info. So here's where maybe I can start using the with optional data here. And that will maybe be a bit faster. Okay, so let's check this out then. Get entity movement info. Entity subsystem, get entity data. Yeah, so where is this used from? Move to processor and velocity processor, or we're just getting the movement data. Okay. I'm more interested in watching this than my physics test tomorrow. Stop it. Turn it off. Go steady. I'm not going to be the reason you fail the test. Go steady. How do you make the mouse move with the camera? It's a plugin for OBS called OBS Zoom Follow Mouse. Yeah, so I don't know what I want to work on. Should I do like some performance improvements here, or should I mean, maybe we just start with like whatever the worst thing is, which right now seems to be the velocity processor, and then probably followed by the move to processor, it seems. Because the representation processor needs to run on the game thread solely, and we can, right now we're running everything on the game thread, so doing the change where I use the scene meshes rather than the mesh components might not actually save us very much. Might not actually save us very much. Yeah, let's see how much of a difference some of these changes make. So let's change this to, instead of entity subsystem, passing that in with entity, we're just gonna change that to pass in a potential movement data. which let's put that at the end because it is optional. That can just be const as well. So we're just going to check here if movement data, let's rename it. Okay, let's do that refactor, leave code as is. I will fix it. You should start making the 3D models. Oh, I am not going to make those. I am not going to make those. Okay, so let's update this to a with optional. F movement entity data. Now, all of them do have a movement entity data, and I'm wondering like how necessary that is. Const F movement entity data, which is a pointer, movement data. I just want that one. And we can pass that in there. Easy peasy. Where else are we used here? Okay, let's go here. Apply move to velocity, which we can also pass in as optional data here. F movement entity data. Wait, I have that. Wait, I have that. Why am I not passing that in already? Move to data. Movement data. Entity. So entity subsystem vlog. Okay, let's just pass in. And I'm doing ad hoc gets here. What? Okay, we're gonna refactor this as well, I suppose. Velocity entity data as well. So const there rather than yeah, we should always have that. Otherwise, why am I doing this? Otherwise, why am I doing this? Move to, it should be movement data. Const F movement entity data. Movement data. So we will need to, yeah, that's, all these are still used. So let's update that function. Yes, yes, yes. Then I'll go in here and we need to pass in the velocity data and then the, make a pointer to movement data. Let's put that on a new line there. Are you better than pirate software? Probably better social skills. I don't know about anything else, though. Did you write all 1,200 lines of code by yourself? Oh, my sweet summer child. This project is much more than 1,200 lines of code. Where do you learn those things? I want the same. You just got to keep doing stuff. Just got to keep doing stuff. That's at least how I learned. I learned by doing. That's how I learned best. I dropped out of college because I wasn't learning very well from it. And I would rather take my education into my own hands. But that's just me. Some people may learn better when they have someone to guide them. I prefer to have a project guide me. Okay, where else am I using this? Is there another place? Nope. Okay, so that's good. Let's rebuild there. Let's see. We'll see if that even makes a difference on the... Oh, because this is... Do I use this in blueprints at all? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. So let's not... I don't care if there's a pointer. Okay, if we can't use it in blueprints. So I'm making a video game. It's an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain and AI-generated quests. As a part of that, I want to run the whole world. I want to simulate everything. Like, I want it to actually be running, right? I don't want to just turn it off. I don't want to fake it. I want the real thing. I want to run the whole world, or at least as much as possible. So I'm working on an ECS to do that. ECS is Entity Component System, is what it stands for. It's a data-driven architecture that focuses on the principles of CPU cache locality to very efficiently do iterations in bulk, kind of, right? And so that's what the system part of the acronym are what I call processors, and that just processes entities with a specific set of entity data. The entity data is the component part of ECS. And this is how I will run thousands and thousands and thousands of NPCs across the world. So we've just been hammering away at this system for... I've had it for years. I've had a base implementation of it for years, but I've been going back through over the past 3-4 weeks now and really trying to squeeze out every ounce of performance I can get out of it. And we've made leaps and bounds. And so the game actually runs worse at the moment. That's because I am intentionally running everything on the game thread. I am very intentionally running it on the game thread. We'll be doing parallel processing at the end, but in order to do performance comparisons on like a processor to processor basis from what I had before, I'm keeping it all in the game thread and running it all in like a contiguous block of CPU time. So you can see here, like each one of these blocks is like a processor running, right? And I want that one-to-one comparison from where I was before. And so once I kind of finish up all my performance improvements, I will split them across threads, and we'll probably run even way better than we did before. Are you not afraid of someone copying all this? No, I'm not. Nope, not at all. Thanks for the subs, guys. Yeah, good luck. Go ahead, good luck. Good luck copying it. You're gonna have to write it line by line. You realize that, and I like, you're gonna have to piece, like, doing that, like copying it from my stream would be so much less efficient than just writing it yourself, because it's not like you can copy paste, right? You'd have to type it line by line, and you'd have to pause the stream frame by frame as I navigate through each file, and it's not like I navigate through every file that's necessary either. So yeah, not worried one bit. That would be very unrealistic. Very unrealistic. So it's kind of like Battlefield, but a real-life simulator kind of thing. No, well, Battlefield is a shooter. This is not a shooter, right? This is more like Skyrim, or what I picture is Vanilla WoW plus RimWorld plus Hades is kind of what I'm picturing. But you know, there will be some influences from other games in there. Okay, let's run a little tracey trace here. What do you think about Tenet-like mechanics in the game? I have no idea what that means. No idea what that means. Okay, just a quick little trace here. Quick little cute trace. Cute little trace. Felt cute. Might delete later. Okay. Where's my other one? Give me my other one here. So I'm just gonna look at like a single frame here, maybe. Well, I guess I can do the aggregate for these frames. For each process, same over here. We're gonna have a better aggregate over here though. Okay, let me see. Let me see here. Velocity processor taking a median of 16 milliseconds. A median of 16 milliseconds. It's actually slightly higher. Move to processor 10.3. Median 10.8. So it's not, it actually didn't really change it all that much. Representation processor is 5.2 compared to kind of everything. I mean, this is 5.1. I don't know why it's saying red here. State tree 9.2. State tree 9.6. I mean, it's pretty similar. So that didn't actually help that much. Now let me dig down into a single frame here. So velocity processor. When we process an entity, it takes 11 microseconds, which is too long, too damn long. Handle movement tag. I feel like there's a better way that I could do that. I feel like there's a much better way that I could do the movement tags. Something to do with time inversion, so you can go forward and backward in time. Well, I would check out, if you're interested in that, I would check out the game Braid. It's basically if that kind of mechanic was in Super Mario. It's a very interesting game, and the mechanics the way they use that mechanic is very, very interesting. But I don't really have any specific opinions on it. I'm gonna bet in the next 10 years, if your project goes famous, maybe 20. a Reddit sweat with no real life or job will definitely subscribe to you, and you'll be left thinking why he subbed and instantly got you views. I don't know what you're trying to say there, but thank you for that. But thank you. Okay, what else can I do here? So that didn't really help all that much, but it should be, in theory, better. Let me actually... What does with optional do for me here? Let me look at my the ugliest code I've ever written here. His pointer... With optional. Does the with optional actually work? Because, like, they all have it. They all actually have it. Sorry, I couldn't catch the game name. Could you repeat? Well, I never said it to begin with, so... Oh, you mean Braid. Braid is the game name. That's not the name of my game. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the name of my game. My game doesn't have a name. Guy with no life will copy all your code. I mean, I'm still not worried about it. I'm still not worried about it. Like, if you're doing that, like, you gotta respect the grind that game dev is, because it's a fucking grind. Like, you have to just enjoy doing it, and you have to do it for the right reasons, or else you're never gonna make it. You're never gonna make it, right? Like, if you're in game dev for the money, which there is not very much of, so you're gonna fail, you're gonna crash out. And someone who would come in here and copy all my code, like, you know, I'm more than happy to share how I've accomplished problems with everyone, because everything that I've learned, the reason that I've gotten here in my life with all the knowledge I have, is because other people have given their knowledge to me for free, through, like, you know, just through, like, Google posts, you know, or, like, you know, Stack Overflow, Google, like, I don't believe in, like, hoarding information. I think that's, like, I don't know, it's antithetical to how I've pursued, like, you know, gotten further in my life. So I'm more than happy to share how, you know, I do things in any way, and then someone can kind of copy it in that way. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, you can copy it, but it's more so like, I'm just sharing with you how I solved a problem so that it can help you solve your problems, just like I've been helped in the past. And if someone's trying to copy all my code, I mean, I don't even think it's possible, right? Like, that would be such a and, like, my code has been changed. You'd have to watch every single fucking one of my streams, which, shout out to the fucking real ones out there who are doing that. But, like, you'd have to also not only watch every single one of my streams, but, like, pause it every fucking frame to catch the changes that I made. And also, I work on this outside of stream, so it changes in between every stream as well. So it's like, it's not even realistic. But even if someone were able to do that, you know, maybe there's some fucking AI in the future that can do that. Like, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Like, you're just not, you're not gonna make it, because you don't actually love the process, you know? Everyone has their own ideas. Even when someone tries to copy a game, they always end up with differences due to their own ideas. Yeah, 100% as well. And I guarantee you, like, whatever point they copy it at, like, yeah, they're going to diverge at some point, as will I, you know? As will I. And I don't believe in, like, patenting video game mechanics or anything like that. But welcome in, Sovereign. Hope you're well. Never copy, still learning stuff, and I completely solo my first programs. Yeah, that's a good practice. It's good practice. But it's always nice to be able to talk to other people and figure out how they solve problems, because it can give you inspiration on how to solve your own. I think it's more so just about being respectful to those who you are, you know, quote unquote copying from, you know, and it's kind of a vague term. Kind of a vague term, right? Like, you wouldn't want to fucking trace the Mona Lisa and be like, this is my original work, right? Like, that's disingenuous, but you are becoming famous. That's not true. At least I fucking hope it's not. Simple. If they can recreate, they're competent. You can't stop competent people anyway. Just enjoy this guy's code. Yeah, and if they're competent enough, they can just do it on their own, right? And then we can both learn from each other, you know? So you might as well just come in, you know, if you're curious about one of my systems and how it works. I'm happy to explain it to you. But, you know, I showed you mine, so you have to show me yours, right? So if you do something cool, you have to come back and show me. That's the deal I'll make. But anyways, let's figure out what's happening with the optional data. I never actually, like, dug into it too much. Hetaf, thank you for the sub. We got 105 viewers. That is far from famous, especially on YouTube Shorts. Especially on YouTube Shorts, that is far from famous. That's kind of famous. I don't think it is, dude. I have like 3K subs on YouTube, which I'm grateful for, which is kind of fucking awesome, honestly. The short streams have been popping the fuck off lately, so appreciate y'all being here, but far from famous. Far from famous. Bro needs to code some games into Telegram. Why would I need to do that? Why would you want that? Telegram is the messaging app, right? That people use to like scam people, right? Why would I want to make a game in that? It's like when people come in here and I'm like, why aren't you just making this in Roblox? Why don't you just make Roblox games? I'm like, why would I want to fucking do that? Sorry. Anyways, the optional parameters. Where are the fucking? It's probably in here. Find matching archetypes for optional parameters. And I guess the optional part maybe doesn't even come in, right? But I'm wondering, because this is the is pointer arg, and we're doing a find ref here, which I think might be an issue. We're doing if it's a pointer arg. Literally sub 5 minutes ago, your bot broken. Yeah, I don't get like real-time updates on that. Like, there's actually not that many, like, because I was trying to set those up, and like, there's not that many things that can do YouTube sub alerts. So I just use the built-in one. I use se.live. So Stream Elements has like one that's built in, and it's just use that one, you know, just as a way to kind of, you know, show some recognition. C++ too complicated for me. Back to shit fuck code and shine super. Hey, dude, that pays the bills. Shit fuck code pays the bills. Back to shit fuck code. That's funny. Why is that so funny? I appreciated that. Yeah, but yeah, that'll pay the bills better than game dev will. So no shame there. Do I think it's worth it if I start learning web dev now? I'm 17-year-old and I'm stuck on what I should learn. Yeah, if you're interested in it, there's no reason not to, right? If you enjoy doing it, if you're interested in it, go for it. I started at 16 with World of Warcraft private servers. Actually, that was earlier than that. But yeah, World of Warcraft private servers taught me how to code. Because I wanted to play WoW with my friends. And if you've ever heard someone talk about WoW and you've never played, it sounds like a foreign language. So I always felt left out because my parents wouldn't pay for a WoW sub for me. So I started playing on private servers, which are like, you know, free, like, you know, gray legal area servers that people set up for World of Warcraft. And my friends always thought they were sketchy, so they would never play with me. So I looked into making my own World of Warcraft private server so that we could play together. And that's where I learned like what a developer was. I was like 13, 14 at that time. And like as a part of following some of the tutorials to like set up your own server, they would have you like edit like a line of code or two or something. So that was like technically my first line of code. Would have been at like 13 or 14. But yeah, I didn't actually like start trying to like write code until I was like 16 or something like that. And then I think I copy pasted code for about 2 years. But I was able to get an internship at a local company in high school. So I would like drive there for half the day. And I got to work with some people there on like, I made like super shitty Android apps basically for that company. Y'all talking C++ and Java, and me here trying to figure out how to write code in Python. I want to learn Java though. Hey, just start with one. The other ones become easier after you learn your first one. Personally, I wouldn't be able to keep track on that level of nested if statements, so I usually use the return early type of approach. Hey, me too. Yeah, I return early here too. But sometimes, especially in game dev, you just get some really gnarly conditions, you know? I have noticed the Unreal Engine source code does not like the guard approach or the early return approach. They like the nested if checks, which I don't. So I'm with you in that. I'm gonna start making Minecraft Java mods then. Good practice, I guess. Yeah, dude, totally. Yeah, there's a lot you can do with Minecraft, right? It's a very good place to start, actually, I feel, because it's also interesting, right? Like you'll be motivated to do that. So I think modding is a great place to start, actually. I want to intern. Yeah, it's a little different now. Back in the day, they would just like, they're like, hey, you can like remove viruses off a computer. You're hired, you know? That's like, yeah, I had to learn how to do that because I was fucking downloading shitfuck garbage on LimeWire back in the day. Y'all don't know about LimeWire and fucking, oh, what were some of the other ones that were like, it was basically just like Virus City. It was basically just like you'd go there to download free music, and it was super illegal to do so. I don't know how those companies existed or how those applications existed, but you could just like basically like just torrent all the free music you wanted. But also there were a ton of viruses. So I fucked my family's computer up a number of times and had to unfuck it. Yeah, the template metaprogramming is a little different. Like you'll notice the else isn't grayed out here. And also the else can also, it can help with readability as well. It can help with readability sometimes. And with this template programming code is already complicated enough that I want to be very explicit about what's happening. Do you only make games or other system level things too? I mean, in my free time, I only make games, yeah. I have a job. I'm a software engineer. BitTorrent, yeah. But yeah, I think this will actually fail. I don't have anything that actually had, I guess let's just like remove movement data on one of these things and see if it crashes. I think it will. Let's collapse all real quick. Collapse all. Movement data. I will need to copy that back in. We'll have to copy that back in. We're gonna crash. Okay, we didn't actually crash. Interesting. I do not watch F1. Yeah, I guess I don't check if movement data is valid there. Well, let's do this. It's gonna look uggo. Yeah, that's super uggo. If movement data. Okay, that's a bit better. I guess that didn't fail. I guess that didn't fail when I thought it would. Interesting. I'm a semi-retired engineer. Interested in game development, but designing assets and models is not my thing. I'm more interested in the mechanics. What's your take on that? My take on that? I mean, I don't know if there's a take to be had on that. That's just your personal opinion, right? I also am not capable of making assets. I just use the free ones. I just use a bunch of free stuff. Yeah, fab.com is like free assets every 2 weeks, and there's also a bunch of super cheap ones on the Humble Bundle software packages that come out. So I've just been picking those up. Like you can get like hundreds of fucking assets for like 20 bucks on the Humble Bundle, so super worth it. I just use those ones for now. Okay, let's put let me copy back the movement into DData, so copy that. Movement, entity, data, where are you? Put that back. I guess that's fine. I guess that is fine. I'll just wait for that to be an issue later then. How else can we... What else can we do for this apply control input shenanigans here? Let's const ref that. First time here, how you're coding a game, but I can't see the game. What? I'm asking your opinion. You're asking me my opinion on you not wanting to design assets and models? I mean, you don't want to do that, don't do that. I don't really have an opinion on that. Is using assets off of the internet and making something out of them in a 3D space on your laptop and calling it your art a crime? No, I don't think that's a crime. Is there a technique you use to make different assets feel like they belong together? Oh no. No, I just toss it in there for now. I'm not worried about like I'm worried about functionality and gameplay right now. So I'm not even focusing on what it looks like or the rendering performance or anything like that. Biggest thing I would say for learning and deving, use GPT-5. Honestly, it's getting crazy. It wrote me today a parallel cleanup script in Bash that worked basically out of the box. Is that learning? That doesn't sound like learning to me. That doesn't sound like you learned anything by doing that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use AI. I use it as well sometimes, but I write most of the code myself because I want to learn it. Right? I want to know. But that doesn't to me sound like learning. That sounds like you prompted for a function and you said it worked out of the box. So I doubt you wrote any of that code. So I don't think you learned very much by doing that. How's YouTube live chat today? They're behaving well. They're being very well behaved today. Welcome in. You might be aware of this. You can make something like backface culling. Yes, backface culling is something that is used in game dev. Yes. It explains every step. Yeah, but you didn't do it. And so that knowledge is gone the second that you're not, you know, like, you're not going to remember that. You're not going to remember anything about that. When you write it yourself, it's going to solidify in your mind a lot better because you wrote it. And you know what happens if you don't write a certain line of code, right? Using code from AI, like just straight up, will not teach you as well as writing it yourself. And there's no argument. And I'm not saying that like AI can't be used to help you learn. It definitely can, but you still have to write the code yourself, and that's going to be a better way to learn. I verify it all after the fact. Yeah, but you're not writing it. So how can you say that you're learning when you're not actually writing it? And hey, I've copy and pasted AI code too, but I'm not going to act like I learned anything from doing that, you know? I'm not going to act like I learned very much from doing that. Like, you should write it yourself. And I understand it speeds things up, but that's not always the point, right? If it's worth doing, it's worth doing. And if it's not worth doing, then why are you doing it? It takes my shit fuck code and unfucked it, bro. ChatGPT is bait. Yeah, how are you going to get to a point where you don't write shit fuck code? How are you ever going to get to that point if you let ChatGPT fix your mistakes for you? I've been writing code for over 10 years now. I've been getting paid for it for 10 years. AI doesn't write code as good as me, as consistently as me. It can help a lot. But when I go to work and I write code, I don't use AI very much because it does not produce very good results. Sometimes it can, but it's very inconsistent. And other times it just straight up will do things in a subpar way. And I have to sit there and verify it and basically do a code review on it and end up writing it myself. So if you want to be a software engineer, like if you want to get paid to write code, you should learn how to write code, right? It's a good tool, but and I'm not saying like it's a really nice resource for things. Like I said, I use it too. I'm not saying I'm not anti-AI, but it is not going to teach you anything unless you do it yourself. So you should try to do that as much as possible. Why do most senior devs, whether full stack, front end, and back end, encourage learning case by case to do the thing you want to do by programming things? Wait, let me read that again. Encourage learning case by case to do the thing you want to do by programming things. Okay, I'll be honest, that's a little difficult for me to understand. I think what you're asking is, why do developers encourage you to learn by doing? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what I'm hearing? If that's what you're saying, and I mean, everyone learns differently, so I don't like, that's how I learn best, is by doing. But like, other people might learn very good that way. They might learn from, you know, going to college or following a tutorial, or, you know, going through some sort of course or something. So it's all, I think most people suggest doing that is, I think, because like, once you get past a certain level of, you know, it's probably around the time when you've learned how multiple frameworks or multiple programming languages work, you kind of figure out that whatever you use to solve the problem, like, you kind of just become more agnostic to it the deeper you get, or the more experienced you get. Like, it doesn't really matter what the programming language is or the framework is. Like, the concepts that you learn by actually going through a project that's where the gold is. Like, that's the juice right there. I absolutely hate how much my tech bro friends push AI as a crutch now. Yeah, I would be like, I hate people come in here and they're like, just use AI. Or like, some people just come in here and they just say, like, I had a guy, like almost every stream someone comes in and says, just use AI, just use ChatGPT. Why don't you just ask ChatGPT? And like, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, some guy just comes in and goes, ChatGPT. Like, that's all he said. I'm just like, dude, you couldn't even write a full sentence. Like, I know what you're saying. You're saying the same shit everyone else says. Like, you couldn't even write a full fucking sentence, dude. Come on. And yeah, it's like, bro, just, if it's worth doing the thing, if you think it's worth doing the thing, and such that you're doing it, why are you letting the AI do it for you? You know? I disagree. You can learn coding AI if you're. That feels like an incomplete comment, but yeah, my point is, you're not gonna learn as well by letting the more you let AI do, the less you will learn. That's what I'm trying to say. I think the only time AI is used correctly is when it corrects some syntax errors. It shouldn't be used to actually program for you. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I also use AI code, but later on I try to understand the code and provide good naming conventions, syntax, etc. Yeah, you know, there's multiple levels to it. Like, there's just complete vibe coding, which I would be ashamed to be called, where you're just like, you're not even reading the code. And then there's like, you're letting it code for you, but you're trying to read and understand. You know, that's better, I guess. And then there's also like, you're using AI, but, you know, you're maybe just copying, pasting bits of it and connecting them together, you know? And then there's like, you're using AI, but you're writing all of it yourself. And just what you're trying to do is, you understand the output it gives you, you try to understand that, and then you try to write it again without looking at it, right? Without just like, you know, have it on one screen, just typing exactly what it says, right? But there's levels to how well you can use it and how much you can learn from it. I don't understand, do we really need to memorize code or have an understanding? No, don't try to memorize things. You'll just let that happen as it may. You don't need to, like, the way you're taught how to write code in school is at least the way I was taught when I before I dropped out of college, was like memorizing function names and shit. Like, you don't need to do that. Yeah. You just need to remember how to find the answer to your question, right? Am I wasting time learning Godot script to make my own indie game? Should I learn something more broadly focused? No, I don't think. I mean, you picked an engine. Or is GD script Godot script, or is that game maker? No. I think that's, yeah, I mean, Godot is a fine language. A lot of people, or a fine engine. A lot of people use it. I don't think you're wasting your time there. Most senior devs always ask me, why are you learning programming to do in the first place? Like, what shit do you plan to build or do? Yeah, I mean, that'll give you direction in your learning journey, right? Like, a lot of people come in here and ask, like, what language should I learn? And it's all dependent on you, man. It's like, what project should I work on? It's like, that's all dependent on you. I can't answer that for you, right? I can't answer that for you. It's all about what you're interested in, what you want to do, right? If you want to get into web dev, learn JavaScript, TypeScript, you know? If you want to get into game development, pick an engine, learn an engine. A lot of clanker lovers in here. A lot of clanker lovers in here. And then they sort of just gave me a roadmap, case by case. Let me explore the super niche edge case that will impact the framework that I'm trying to build. Okay. Trying to learn programming. What's one tip you can give me? Like, what should I start from learning? See, I mean, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, that's dependent on you and how best you learn. Like, I can't give you, the only tips I can give you are, you know, figure out, you got to learn how to teach yourself. You got to teach yourself how to learn. You got to figure out how best you learn. You have to figure out how to answer, or how to ask the right questions, rather. You know, I learned by just Googling, by just Googling for whatever I needed to accomplish what I was working on. I just always had a side project that I was working on. What is your views on libraries versus AI? What? I don't think that's kind of an apples to oranges question there. I also found out alternative solutions through AI. Yeah, I've used AI for some inspiration on solving problems as well. For the ECS system I'm working on, I used AI quite a bit, actually. Can you tell me in which semester you did your first internship? It was sophomore year of high school. But I only went to college for 2 years and I dropped out. And got a job. So the job market was a lot better back then. So I kind of got lucky there. Yeah, AI is very good. It has gotten very good. That changes nothing about what's the points I'm trying to make, though. Doesn't matter how good AI gets. Does not matter how good AI gets. The points I'm trying to make are, what's the term I'm looking for? Eternal, maybe? That sounds kind of dramatic, but... Stress testing different, simply, and they melted down within 10 queries. Yeah, the context getting longer is definitely an issue with AI. It gives performance improvements, security improvements, and it's mad. But like you as the software architect and the developer need to understand, like that should come from within, right? Like you should know what security and performance things you need to do and like what the general concepts are. Like if you're just relying on AI to tell you how to solve problems, like you're gonna make mistakes. You need like, and if this is something you want to get into, you should have pride in learning things, right? And not relying on AI. And if you're just doing like hobby stuff and you're just kind of using it as like, you know, I just want to make some tools, you know, yeah, go for it, go nuts. If you're not actually interested in learning, then yeah, go for it. Can I ask something controversial? No, of course not. I don't trust you, Voxnell. It's not important to memorize knowledge, just have to learn it as it comes. Yeah, just, you know, for me, I just learn by doing it. I pick it up. I mean, I still have to Google functions every now and then sometimes, you know, or look them up in some way, look at the source code. Is cybersecurity safe from AI from all these layoffs, man? It makes me so anxious. I think that layoffs are more from economic uncertainty and interest rates and stuff like that. I mean, I don't doubt that people have been laid off because of AI, but I don't know, the way I look at it is like AI can be a productivity boost. You know, I use like the autocompletes and stuff like that. They're great. They do boost my productivity for sure. But like if you're a business and you don't have enough work, like, I don't know, like if you're a business and like you're laying people off because you don't have enough work lined up because AI has made you so productive, like you're just not competitive enough as a business and you're probably not going to make it just as a business, right? Like Yeah, I don't know how much AI is actually influencing the layoffs. It's hard to tell, but I would think that the economy is a larger reason, but that's just speculation. JavaScript is good for web dev. What's the use case for Python? Is it a jack of all trades language? I guess kinda. Yeah, it can be used for a lot of different things, like machine learning. It's used a lot in. You know, there are plenty of backends written in Python. I mean, it's probably your most general scripting language, right? Like every job I've had has had some level of Python scripts, right? But they're usually just like kind of like configuration type scripts and stuff like that, you know? I think using AI is okay once you directly understand what exactly you want and have a clear idea of the code, of what the code does, able to tweak and modify it. I mean, yeah, I mean, as a developer with, you know, over 10 years of experience, like if I have to start prompting by like the level, I guess it's like when you're doing a hobby project, a small project, an unopinionated project, a young project, like it's really nice. But once you have a project or an app that has existed for years and has been built over years, right? Like at work, I work on applications that have been around for like 7+ years. Like they have a lot of really specific business logic in them. AI is not very good at doing the right thing. Even though we have AI that's been trained on our code base, right? So I can't just prompt it by behavior, and I can't just say, hey, I want this kind of behavior, because it doesn't get it right. It doesn't do it, it doesn't implement it in the right way. I literally have to hold its hand and say, I want you to write this code here, you know, I have to prompt by implementation, which is not that useful because I have to review all the fucking code anyway. And when you write code, you just have a better understanding of it than when you're doing a code review and reading it, right? That will always be the case. And so it's like, I have to prompt very specifically, and I have to have really detailed, effective prompts, and then I have to review all the code anyway, only for it to sometimes be fucking wrong, you know? And I have to fix shit anyway. And then only to like end up with less confidence in the code that it has been written. Like, I'm just gonna write it myself at that point. AI will definitely 100% take over your coding. I don't think that's gonna happen in my lifetime. I have no doubt that it will increase performance substantially. I don't think it will take over coding in my lifetime. Someone still needs to work with the AI and understand, like at the end of the day, someone is going to need to be accountable for what AI does. And that person who's going to be accountable needs to understand the work that the AI is doing, right? No human is going to give up, you know, accountability, right? Like someone has to take the blame for shit, right? Someone has to be there. That is the job, right? It will. Okay, man. Okay, random YouTube chatter that probably doesn't have experience in the industry. Yeah, I mean, the AI CEOs, Sam Altman and whatever, they have a vested interest in hyping, especially Altman working at a startup. Like their whole funding model is based on hype. So everything he says is overhype, right? You have to assume that it is overhype, right? How do you make money to enjoy life? I have a job. I have a job. I write code. The verbosity you require for prompting is also quite annoying. Right, which is why only for it to be inconsistent in its response, like it's just like, dude, I'm just gonna write it myself. Like I've been writing code for long enough that it's just faster. And like the AI autocompletes are amazing. I love those. I love the autocompletes. Those are great. And that's where I see the future of coding. Because that keeps you in the flow. Like the flow of vibe coding is so fucking frustrating, man. And it's so jarring. Like coming from someone who is like, you know, raw dog handwritten code for a long time, the vibe code flow is very annoying. I used to code before AI was even popular, so you don't code anymore. Nowadays, anyone can code $1 million website with AI without hiring any devs. Okay, where's your show me your $1 million website then. Where's your $1 million website then, if anyone can do it? Share the link, share the link. I've not seen any evidence, or I'll say I've seen little evidence of people actually, like, I'm not saying that you can't vibe code an app that can make money. I think you can. But the older that the project is, the older that the application is, the less effective that AI is going to be on it. Like the more development. You're sarcastic as fuck, dude. Yeah, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, now welcome to the conversation, my dude. Welcome in. Does the Pope shit in the woods? Yeah, I'm fucking sarcastic. I gotta deal with you fucks all day. Most of you are okay. Most of you are okay. Is this CPP? Yes, it is. I asked AI to do it. Did I say I have a website? No, you said anyone can have $1 million website with AI. So why don't you have $1 million website? It's because that statement isn't true. Because I don't think your take is right. I don't think your take is correct. But anyways, let's get back to some actual coding. I've been yapping for way too long here. So let's continue performance improving the velocity processor. Ask AI your damn self. What? Ask it what? To make $1 million website for me? Look, this is the shittiest defense of your opinion I've ever seen. Sorry, please stop being so entertaining. I need to get work done now. I need to actually get work done now. So please stop being so funny. Stop that. Yeah, okay, so this scope is taking this scope trace profile here is taking up half the time of each iteration. So why is that? Let's start looking at that. Is exceeding max speed? That's just straight code. We're using size squared there. Okay. Velocity. Give it 3 years, AI is going to take over coding. Yeah, they said 6 months. You know, I've heard CEOs say 6 months. I say a year, 3 years ago. Yeah, I've heard it all. I don't agree with you. It's not going to take over coding. Coding will be here for quite some time. Wasting your time and effort coding when AI can make anything nowadays. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I think you're just trolling at this point. Like you're being so obtuse. It's like hilarious. But anyways, let's keep performance profiling. Or not profiling, but digging down here. I'm surprised this is taking so long, because all we're doing here is just some computations, right? I guess cache locality is somewhat of an issue here. Promise you one day it will, just not today. Okay, all right, yeah. But you can come back in here and tell me that you were right any day, whenever that happens. Whenever that happens, feel free. And I'll be the one actually writing code and making money from it. And you'll be continuing to try and vibe prompt $4 million websites. Wasting my time coding. Yeah, I actually enjoy doing this, and I know that's kind of crazy for some people to understand. I enjoy writing code. I enjoy building things. So I don't even if you're right, I don't care, because I like doing this. I like solving problems. I like using my brain, and I know that's kind of wild. That's a wild take. Impossible. Impossible. 9 out of 10 vibe prompters hate him. Vibe coders hate him. He writes his own code even though his job is gone and he's not making money from it. Why is he doing that? Why is he writing? He's not making any money from it. Hey, I took his job long ago. Why is he still handwriting code? He says that he enjoys it. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Yeah, I really don't know. Maybe let's break this down a little bit more. Let me get a little bit more granularity in my scopes here. Apply control input. It's Jakara. Thank you for the follow, my dude. Thank you. My thoughts have always been a bad coder is fine. He's just bad. A good coder is great. They're good. The worst is a programmer who makes stuff that looks right but isn't. That's what AI specializes in. That is a take, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that AI can't admit when it's wrong very well, you know? It's not very good at that part yet. Which would be nice if it was just like, yeah, I'm pretty uncertain about this. That would be very nice. And so what is this? This is like if we are... this is acceleration. So that's the acceleration scope. And then this is... this is deceleration. Problem solving is the key, right? That's a sweet dopamine hit. Like a full pack of copium in one puff. Jed knows what I'm talking about. No, Jed, you see, AI's, why are you wasting your time? You're wasting your time. AI is good. You could just prompt AI for it. Oh, spare me. Love from India. Love back to you. Love your lesson-like videos. Is that what this is? I guess I am teaching some lessons here. Yeah, this is interesting. This is an interesting. Let's just run live coding here and we'll test this out. AI is gonna take my job. Oh wait, I don't have one. If I had one. Dad, you don't have a job? Well, good for you. I'm happy you get to do what you love every day. I'm jealous. I wish I could do the same. Yeah, so let's run this bad boy. I'm calling you out, weirdo. Dude, you have been getting called out. You're behind. You're falling behind. I've been calling you out, and it's been happening, and you're just now catching up to the conversation. So I'll welcome you to the conversation a second time. Welcome. Okay. Quick trace. Just need some examples here. Okay, let's break this down. Apply control input. Wow. Holy shit. That's so much. That is so much performance just before we even get to the acceleration part. So it's like most of it is this part right here. Why is this code so slow? Get entity movement info. I mean, this really shouldn't do all that much. This really shouldn't be doing all that much. Get max okay, let's do it. Let's do a profile on that bad boy. That might be the biggest issue, actually. Is it time to take out the banhammer? I don't know. When he's providing such good content, it's it makes me just want to let him keep you know, reeling out the rope to hang himself with. It's like watching someone publicly execute themselves. It's just kind of hard to look away, you know? It's kind of hard to look away. Like, I don't want to see it, but like, you know. All right, let's run that again. Keep running, rather. Race it. Okay, just a few frames. We just need a few frames there. I regret talking about AI now. I bet I was just trying to share how impressed I was with it. Yeah, and you're not wrong to be impressed by it. I'm impressed by it as well. You're not wrong for bringing that up. You're all good. Okay, why is that? Now it's even worse. I guess I feel like the profiler scopes kind of slow things down a bit. Thanks for the subs over on YouTube, guys. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, get entity movement info is the slowest thing we have here. So let's recap on what we're doing here. Move setting, get move setting for tag. Yeah, we're just doing, it's a bunch of map lookups, right? It's a bunch of map lookups. So that's why we're so slow here. Get max acceleration and stuff. Get move settings for speed. Or yeah, we have to sort the keys and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of doing a lot, right? It would be much better if we... I wonder if I should cache these values. I mean, they're already in constant time lookup data structures, but like just having a raw value, get max speed for tag. I mean, it basically it would be very similar. Get move setting for speed. I guess I could prevent sorting it every frame. That would be a bit better. The curves as well. The curve evaluation is probably a considerable piece of performance as well. Mark comment vibe, I know, right? Glad to see you moved over to Svelte React. Wasn't it? What? This is game dev, my dude. Bro probably follow pirate software. Yeah, maybe. That's maybe. Yeah, so I mean, I guess this is the issue, right? Doing these map lookups. It's not very cache locality. I can tell you that. I think the only thing that I could do that's better is get move settings for speed is happening for each one of these. So let's cache the sorted move keys. Sorted move keys tags. T-array, a gameplay tag. Yeah, so let's store this on here. We're going to store that there. And so we're going to say if sorted, if it's not empty, then let's return it. Otherwise, move settings sorted. Wait, what did I do here before? Get keys. Yeah, get keys into there. Oh, because this is a const function. Oh man, they're all not gonna be able to be const. That is somewhat annoying. That is somewhat annoying. Yeah, if it's empty, otherwise put it in there and sort, because the move, this stuff shouldn't change every frame. So yeah, we're gonna have to make all these not const, which is, like I said, maybe I could just, should I just const cast it? I think I should just const cast it. Let's just const cast the bad boy. Can I guess I would need to, do I need to const cast this? Is that even a thing? Is that even a thing? So let's do F movement entity data. It is a pointer, right? This pointer, yeah, const cast, there we go. That is what I want. That is exactly what I would want. There we go. Yeah, so it's spooky. This is spooky. I always feel spooky doing that. Let's see how much that helps. Let's rebuild. Get a fresh set of code here. Doesn't YouTube have an auto mod, so wouldn't Devil just be getting themselves in trouble? I mean, I don't think Devil was saying anything that was ban-worthy. Such that the YouTube auto mod would kill it. Hides class member. Let's call this one cache. Sort of move these tags cache. All right, rebuild that. And thanks for the subs, guys. Welcome in, everyone. Appreciate y'all being here and hanging out. Appreciate you. I don't know anything about game dev. This looks complex as hell, but is there not like a game design pattern you can use for like a more structured, well-optimized approach to this problem? Well, the architecture I'm using is ECS, and that is the structured and performant way to do things. This is specifically this piece of entity data. What it does is I have different kind of move settings, right? I have like a walk, run, and a sprint. And then for acceleration and deceleration, I need to get the speed for those things, right? And so I have these curves, these curve floats that I use to evaluate, to make the movement look like realistic and stuff like that. Surprising since it appears to be harassment of sorts. No, he's just trolling. I don't think that's ban-worthy. I mean, ban worthy as in like auto ban worthy, you know. Totally get if other people would want to ban him. Just because they don't want to put up with him, but it's fun. It's fun for me to a certain extent. You know, I am very sarcastic. Yes. It can get old quick though, especially when I'm like trying to get work done. Like people are coming in here with this saying the same shit that they've always said. That does get old. So it's like I have 3 options. I can either like ignore it, which is probably the one I take most of the time, or I can, you know, be calm and reasonable about it, which takes time, or I can be sarcastic and use them for content, which, you know, I think the first and last are the ones I most often take. Or you can just ban them, which, you know. Come on. Let's close these. We don't need those anymore. Well, actually, I do need one of those. I'll pick up the last one though. What are you working on today? I'm just kind of like, I don't know, just kind of ad hoc stuff, I suppose. I ended up time slicing the invoker processor from yesterday and kind of like, you know, kicking that can down the road a little bit. It runs with under a millisecond each frame now. I time sliced it to where entities will get processed every second. You know, it'll split the processing to where every entities get processed once per second. So that's fine. I fixed the entity representation processor, a couple things in there that went pretty quick. For the most part, we've just been yapping. But now I'm just trying to tackle the velocity processor and just trying to figure out some things, make it a bit more performant here, trying to track down. And the movement tag map was a little unperformant, a little bit. Okay, let's trace there. This feels, I can already tell the frame rate's higher. I wonder how much not sorting the tags 4 times for every entity per frame is going to give us. Let's check that out. So let's grab my last 2 here. 1, 2. Okay. Just grab a random frame and compare. Velocity processor 18 milliseconds there. Velocity processor down to 9 milliseconds. Bro, that was half the time is now gone. Half the time was taken up just by sorting those tags. Holy shit. We have a fucking 50% performance benefit from that. Holy shit. That was way, but this is like too good to be true territory here. This is too good to be true territory. I want to like one of these apply. This is why you profile, guys. This is why you do this. Yeah, I mean, the apply control, the get movement info is the function we're optimizing here. It is now a 3rd, and it looks like probably because of that we can get a little bit higher cache locality as well. That's a crazy performance benefit right there. That's crazy. It's still like it's like a 1/3 of the overall. Like this block right here. This is one entity's velocity. It applies the control input, which is like what direction the entity wants to go in and how much acceleration they have. So it applies like acceleration, deceleration in a direction to velocity, then it applies the velocity to the transform, and then it also does a bunch of different traces. It actually does line traces or gravity processing as well. So it does kind of a bit, and then it handles movement tags. I've been wanting to split this processor up. I have been wanting to split this processor up. Affected by gravity, be affected. What is that? What is that scope now? Be affected. Yeah, so this is where it's doing some of the line traces and stuff. I should probably just like on the trace utils, I should just by default have scope traces on these. So let's just do that. Let's just do that. These are my trace utils that interact with my own kind of collision system that I built for entities and for terrain, such that it'll run like efficiently on. Because like for the terrain, I use like the spatial data structures, like the bounding volume hierarchies and stuff like that. Targetable from actor, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I think that's probably good. Maybe interactable trace is good and camera trace. Those are kind of entry point functions too. Okay. Okay, so we got those put in there. Targetable trace, that one's, yeah, we should do that one too. One more. Targetable trace, building placement trace. I mean, fuck it, why not? Why not have these on everything? Do these get stripped out of shipping builds? Show me the... does it show me what it expands to? Yeah, I don't know what a shipping build would do to that. Okay, let's rebuild. Let's rebuild that. I want to get a... We're going to continue in here. Velocity to terrain hit. I don't think we actually reached that one. I have a scope trace on that as well, so I don't think we hit that one either. Yeah, so handling the movement tags. Here's another thing that I want to do better on. Yeah, we should pass this data in instead of looking it up. Ability system data. With optional movement entity data. With optional movement entity data. Do I have move tag updates? Yeah, we enqueue them and then process them. Ugh. Yeah, this should just be in its own, this should probably be its own processor, right? Although we are only doing it over a small subset of entities, but I'm wondering if it would just be better to just have it in its own processor. Let's not change it too much for now. The handle movement tags was like a third of the processing though. And I think the movement data, we can pass that in because we have that now. Movement data, so we no longer need to do that. And I suppose we can also add an optional for the ability system. Ability system entity data. And actually, I have a gameplay tags piece of data now. So I should maybe just be directly using that for the movement tag maybe. I only use it for the dead tag now. But if I have to take a further step back, thinking in terms of ECS, what a lot of ECSs do, they actually just have like empty data structs that act as tags, right? Like all it is a struct name essentially. And I have one for, that's what I should probably do for dead. And then that way I don't even iterate over things that are dead, or I don't even iterate over things that aren't moving or something like that, you know? So that would be the ultimate way to handle this. But I always like to take an iterative approach to things. So I would just like to do little by little as I can, so that I can get feedback as I go. Feedback is very important for me, whether it's feedback from people or from like a compiler or, you know, just running the code or something. We'll just call that ability data, but we need to pass that into the with optional. Ability system entity data. Is with optional? Do I even need that? I don't even think I need that. Because I think the way the code is written, it'll just populate these parameters if they exist. Let's rebuild that. Let me catch up on chat a little bit here. I don't know what I'm talking about. You not need to track and have all these calculations running for every person. Can you not do it based on how close they are to the viewer? Well, yeah, so what I want to do is I want to run the whole world. Like I want things running when they're not close to the viewer, right? And there are a lot of optimizations that I do for that, where I like disable what they're being rendered as, right? I change them to instant static meshes. You know, an actor would be like, with the skeletal mesh would be like the most expensive part. Those are only shown when they're very close to the player. When they're farther away, they change into vertex animated instant static meshes. And when they're even further away, they just go invisible, but they still move around, right? And then I also have the invoker the proximity invoker system that I wrote yesterday, where it'll actually, some entities I don't care to run all the time because they're not very important, and they only need to be turned on when they're within radius of a more important entity, which I call my invoker entities. Those there's some invoker data for dictating how far away an invoker should turn on entities or start simulating the entities. So there's another performance boost there. But yeah, like the whole point is for me to run all of them as efficiently as possible, or as many as I can. As many as I can. So this is now our old one. No, that's not the old one. This is now the old one. We'll put you on that side. Okay, finish spawning. Yeah, the whole point of this is to get away with as much as possible, right? So I will be doing more and more optimizations as I need to. Okay, just a quick little trace there. And yeah, the ECS system is traditionally, I think it's probably mostly used by RTS type games, where you do have like thousands of enemies on a map and stuff like that. No huge benefit there. Maybe. I guess I didn't get, let's get the median. Let me get the median here for a proper analysis. Velocity processor, median 9.9, median 9.8. Yeah, so we're effectively the exact same. So that actually didn't help. So it's almost like the ad hoc data lookups are actually not so bad on the cache locality. But I'm just using so much entity data in these that it's probably not getting a whole lot of cache locality. But I just want to look at specifically the handle movement tags part. Yeah, so that didn't really help it very much. Interesting. The line, look how fast the line trace is. That's crazy. The actual procedural terrain subsystem line trace, which is that guy. Most of these then are my line trace single by channel part. According to my TV, you are live twice. Yeah, I have two streams. I have a horizontal and a vertical stream on YouTube. And then a stream on Twitch as well. Yeah, so the rest of it is just the line tracing, which I'm not sure that we can do much better. Line trace single by channel. I'm not sure that we can do much better there. So we are doing the two traces. But we're primarily just, I think I only want the terrain hit, really, for the most part. So there may be a little bit of extra work happening here. Does Skyrim do the same with the entities? No, not as far as I know. That's not a game that runs the whole world. They probably just turn off the entities when you're not in range. Turn off their NPCs. Both hit, use the close. Well, oh no, I have to do both because I have to check if they're hitting like if it's hitting a building or not. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I do have to check both. Yeah, so not a whole lot I can do there. It just works, yeah. Famous words. Famous words. Almost the you think you do but you don't was almost better than that. Almost got more famous than that. I'm actually quite happy that that got that much faster, because now, is that still our like slowest processor at the moment? Slowest non-time sliced processor. Although I didn't check the move to processor. That probably got a lot faster as well. Let me go back to how many ago did I implement that? Was that 3 traces ago, maybe? Move to processor 12.2. Dude, the move to processor dropped by over half. Oh yeah, the move to processor got substantially faster as well because of that. That get entity movement info was such a little bastard. Such a little hidden bastard. The ad hoc lookups are being done on what exactly? Can you restructure what the lookups are being done on to be more efficient? So, I mean, everything is happening in a constant time complexity. So I can't do any better from that perspective. Like what you have to focus on is like the cache locality, the CPU cache locality. That's what I have to focus on now for most of this stuff. Other than that move tag updates, that was a time complexity issue. But now it's like doing the ad hoc lookups. That means that like when I'm doing iteration over the entity archetypes, if I have to do ad hoc lookups, they're not in contiguous memory. So for that reason, they're always going to be slower. So anything that's like a pointer here is kind of slower. And I guess what I found is like doing it this way versus just doing the entity subsystem get data is kind of the same. It makes no difference because we still have to do the map lookup at some point. It's like, are you doing it up front or are you doing it at the end? It doesn't seem to matter all that much. It doesn't seem to matter all that much. Now velocity data, this should be a ref. That can be a ref. Once upon a time, I was happy watching memes. Now I'm obsessed with watching a guy talking code on YouTube. Yeah, I saved you from the depths of YouTube Shorts doom scrolling. You're welcome. You're welcome. You are in good hands now. I hope, at least. It's a lot of pressure, actually. I take that back. I don't want that kind of pressure. Can the iterations be done in parallel at all? Yeah, that's going to be my final step. That's the final step. And I'm intentionally doing that at the end because I want a better one-to-one performance comparison from what I was doing before. Because like if I'm doing parallel processing, I'm going to split the processing into all different threads. And it's just a little bit harder to like keep track of how much time a processor takes in total. It can be done, you know, it's not that difficult, but there's also just some overhead in spinning up the other threads and stuff like that. So it's just less of a one-to-one performance comparison. So I'm leaving that for the end. And there's a nice little parallel for function, and that just kind of, it's one of those, it just works things. Like the parallel for is very nice, which does exactly that. Splits it across every thread that's possible. And it'll do it in a really, really nice way. In a really nice way. Also, yeah, I think the best thing we could probably do for this part is change to the entity data tags. Also, let's make these const ref so we're not copying anymore. We're gonna use this for a game at some point. I am using it for a game. It's being used. Current move setting, const ref that as well. Const ref everything so we stop copying, even if they're trivial copies, you know, just trying to squeeze out a little bit of performance if we can. The move tag updates queue is also one that's the queues are kind of slow is what I figured out. They're thread safe, but they're slow. And if I switch to, yeah, we should, I think that's the next big refactor is changing the move. So there's a tag. Actually, fuck. Oh God. Okay, that's gonna suck. Okay, so the gameplay ability system is it's a framework that exists in Unreal, and it's nice. It is nice. It has a concept of gameplay tags, and on the when you make like abilities in the gameplay ability system, it has all these like really nice kind of containers that you can put tags in to say things like, hey, cancel this ability if this tag shows up. And so I have a lot of abilities that get canceled when you move, right? Like if you're casting a fireball and then you move, it should cancel that. And so I have a moving tag that gets added to the character when you move. And I was like, oh, I should just change that to a piece of entity data. But then it's like, well, it wouldn't work with my gas abilities anymore at that point. And it's like all the stuff I'm doing here is no longer worth it. I'm also adding which tag that I'm moving with. Yeah, I'm doing like if it's sprint, walk, or run. Which I think also some abilities get canceled on sprint while you can still do it if you're running. If I'm remembering correctly. I don't blame you. I absolutely hate multi-threading. I've never really got good at them. They give me brain migraines. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Parallel 4 works really great out of the box. There's no issue with the actual parallel processing. It's just for performance comparisons. It's the only reason I'm not doing it right now. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything more I can do about this. I don't know that there's a whole lot more I can do about this until I absolutely refactor the different ability system, right? Which is that's just like a whole ass journey. In YouTube Shorts Live, the stream after yours is a lady barely wearing anything, and after that it's a stream of a guy barely wearing anything. Yeah, the YouTube, so you actually found the actual YouTube Shorts live feed, which is a weird place. It's a weird place. So I just changed to some const refs here. That's probably not going to be a whole lot different. Can I actually return const ref from here? That might even be better. Because it is a cache. It is a cache value that will remain in memory. Let's try that. Maybe it gets even faster here. Add advertisements to your code. What do you mean, like add comments for like, hey, go to McDonald's. Try to do double bacon quarter pounder. Or something like that in the code comments. That'd be kind of funny. Hell no, no ads. Hey, ads, I don't like ads either, but ads make things free, which is nice. The whole reason you guys are able to watch me is because ads exist. How does your backspace head smash thing work? This was 100 plus a few seconds ago. And now it's like 80. I mean, it's 158 now. I mean, it should be incrementing each time I press the button. You might have just seen a different keys number. It's per key. It increments per key. Real game devs think of all the possible microtransactions first. Yes. How could I be so foolish optimizing an Unreal Engine game before thinking about microtransactions? How could I be so foolish? I'm dabbling in the dark arts, essentially, with that approach to game dev, yeah. Do you know if any games have started to be wrote in Go or Rust? I mean, I'm sure there's something out there. I don't know of any off the top of my head, though. I've been told they are faster and performant than C++ as they don't really do threads, but have fancy non-blocking channels. I don't know if that's true. Sounds like magic to me, yeah. Okay, but don't sell your game, please. I am broke, but I have YouTube Premium. You know, I'm probably going to have to sell it at some point, but that's going to be years down the road, so you have plenty of time to get a job until then. Or get a better job. I believe in you. I believe in you. Okay, let's grab my previous two here. That's the new one. New one is on the right always. Give me a random frame here. I guess I probably need a better aggregate. 10, 8, yeah, let's do. Check the aggregate values here. For each process, velocity processor was 9.9 median. 9.9 median, so not a whole lot of change there. Move to processor, 3.8 median. Versus 3.8 median. Yeah, so the const reps didn't really help at all. Didn't really do didn't do a whole lot there. A job in this economy, I know. It's hard out there. Yeah, I don't know that there's more that I can do. I am happy with the performance improvements. So let's just commit for now. I'll mainly just say optimize. What is that? What was the function called? Yeah, get entity. Primarily just optimize that function. Caching sorted keys. That was the main benefit there. So now what do I want to do? How's it going today? It's going well. Thank you for asking. Can't wait for my game. Don't hold your breath. It'll be a while. It'll be a while. What do I want to do here? What do I want to do next? Just go back to performance here. Let's look at the current state of things on a particular. We're basically looking at this block of information right here. So the velocity processor is still like the highest one. Still our slowest one. So yeah, but I'm not sure I can do a whole lot there without taking just a bigger refactor into play. That is very good performance improvement though. State tree processor, I think I will time slice that eventually. Now, the entity representation processor, right now this needs to run on the game thread. I could not parallel process it. But I'm going to take a stab at doing non-component meshes and see how that goes. Dr. Elliott hooked me up with some good juice, some good code for that. Entity ISM processor, all that does is calculate the position, basically. Move to processor. I could take a peek at. I bet move to processor could get a little bit better. Aggro processor is just absolutely fucking trivial, which is great to see. Now this there is some subsystem or something somewhere. That's like what? I think it's the moving tag subsystem. Where is moving tag subsystem? Oh dear. Moving tag. It literally only runs once. Wait, what? The moving tag subsystem only runs once? Huh. Am I getting there? Yeah, okay, we are running. Why is that not showing up in my race very well? It's moving tag subsystem. Why are you not showing up? Contains moving tag. What? Why is that not showing up? The ticks should automatically show up without a scope trace on them. Like they're all like kind of scope trace by default from what I understand. Yeah, with that. Okay, move to processor. Let's just move over there. Not concerned. The moving tag processor is going to go away eventually. I hope. That's the plan. Take a peek at move to processor and just give this a quick once over for like where can we improve things. Okay, yeah, it does do quite a bit. This is basically handling the pathfinding results. Apply move to velocity. Rotation. Take a peek at get new rotation. And look at get entity yaw speed. This one could be optimized a little bit, I think. We can get rid of these. Get entity yaw speed. I should probably just have a better version here. Yeah, let's write a better version of this. This is going to be static float get yaw speed. And actually no static here. No static here. Get yaw speed. And then we'll put this in there. And then we should velocity, we need velocity data and rotation data. So that's what we pass it now. There we go. I need to pass in the world as well. For the delta seconds. Okay, pass in the world as well. Okay, so then here we just return. Wait, what am I supposed to be doing this from? Oh, this isn't on a particular thing. Right. Okay, yeah, just make it static then. Just make it static then. And then this will just do the automatic lookup if I need that. World can be const, short. Okay, so let's just get yaw speed instead of get entity yaw speed now. Do I use it anywhere else other than that one place? No. Get yaw speed. We can get world. Rotation data, velocity data, which are already refs. Where are comments? I don't need comments. The code is the comment. Comments aren't. You should write your code such that you don't need comments, but that doesn't mean that you should never use comments. It also doesn't mean that you should always use comments for every line of code. If you find yourself writing comments for every line of code, it's a smell. That's a code smell. Okay, that should be ever so slightly. Make it const, sure. That should be ever so slightly more efficient. Probably not a huge impact there. Could point a long direction. Yeah, that one's fine. Apply move to velocity. Const. Make it const. Movement info. Make the result const ref so we don't copy. Directional unit vector. Get entity. Now, am I doing ad hoc lookups here? No, because we pass it in, right? Make the movement tag const ref there. Move to data movement tag, distance squared. Why am I doing an F vector F real there? Dist to, what is this? This should be a float, no? No, I don't, what, why was I doing that? I do have to square root it here though. That's my 100th enter, yes. I think the Control Z is the most enlightening. Yeah, we've only 22 Control Z's, so that means it's a good day. That means it's a good day. Is done with move. Anything we can do here? I don't think so. I don't think so. Get entity pawn half height. The bounds data, yeah, that's an ad hoc lookup. Another disk squared. There we go. That's a bit more clear as to what I'm doing there. Yeah, I think that's basically all I can do. Entities with actors. Do I still do that? I do. Okay, so that, although I didn't see the tick show up very well there on the performance profile. But yeah, this is all ad hoc lookups. This is sending the actor movement input. Okay, let's see if that got any faster. Those weren't really substantial performance improvements, but maybe it made a little dent. Okay. Come on, compiler, you can do it. I know it hurts to compile my code. I know it's awful. I know it's awful code, but you can do it. I believe in you. Thank you. Okay. And so what's the next big refactor I need to do? Probably just the ability system. That'll be the next largest piece of performance benefit for me. That, and then maybe the mesh, the scene meshes rather than the component meshes, which will allow me to actually parallel process the representation processor. So I almost want to do that one last, but like it would be kind of nice to see just right now. Okay, let's trace. And you know what? I think I know why it wasn't showing up. I needed stat named events on. I think that's why the tick and stuff wasn't showing up. So let's just run this for a little bit here. I'm gonna make a UE project. It used to take 15 minutes alone to start. Yeah, getting more RAM for me was crucial. That allowed me to just like parallel process it a little bit better for booting up the engine and stuff. Okay, so we want that one, and then the one, not that one, but this one, yeah. Move to 3.8. Median 3.9, so it actually got slightly slower. Is that why? That's probably just noise. Probably not. Max was 5.8. Max was 11. What the hell happened here? Did that actually? How did that make it slower? Did that actually make it slower? There's no shot. No shot. I feel like that's just noise. I feel like that's just noise. Okay, let me look for the tick events. Where are my ticky boys at? There's the moving tag subsystem. Yeah, stat named events needs to show up for that boy. So 1.3 milliseconds on the moving tag subsystem. That's a little slow. It's a little slow. It might just be better to... Where is the moving tag subsystem? It might just be better to... That's just doing like a game thread updates. It might just be better to just do a query, a processor query, like do a 24-hour live stream. No, thank you. Yeah, that could probably be better. Maybe change that back into a processor. I think it was a processor at one point. So where is the tick for... what was the move to processor one? Well, none of them are actors, so yeah, that doesn't happen at all now. Doesn't happen at all now. Now I could... Yeah, I should change that to be an entity data tag too. Entities with actors. So rather than doing that, I should just have some tags for like, this has an actor on it. Yeah, I should get more used to adding and removing tags for sure. Or entity data, but as tags. So like the avatar data, I think right now has the, yeah, it has the actor representation on it. So the avatar, like I guess all I would need, I need the actor class as like a default, but that can be on a different piece of data. And then I can add and remove a piece of data with that on it. And then the existence of that piece of data will tell me what I need to know. And then maybe I can start splitting things up like this into separate processes. Where, you know, do all the things with the actors on one and do all the things without the actors in another. And I can do that now with my upgraded query system. With the with all and the with none. That's a pretty substantial divergence from what I have now. This avatar entity data is used in so many places. Which is now more so just an actor data. All it's going to do is store the actor that it is spawned as. Yeah, I'm kind of reaching the end of like the simple performance updates, aren't I? So let me write some things down on what I want to do next here. I've not written anything down in a while, and I should probably, maybe I should do another, table, another performance capture. I'll probably do that off stream. Things to do next. Oh, I should refactor the chunk processor as well. Rewrite gas is going to be a big one. Chunk processor improvements. Let's actually, all of this kind of is irrelevant now, so we're going to delete that. ECS timer system, that's going to probably be a part of rewriting gas too. So it will do scene meshes instead of component meshes. That's one thing I want to do. And then I'll say use more entity data tags, and then one for actor. I'll say add/remove when entity is represented by actor. Maybe even the ISM data could be one as well. Thanks for the subs, guys. Welcome. Add/remove for when entity is ISM. But like, you know, if might as well change to the mesh here before we do that, because that might change things. This might change. This might change. And then another one is like maybe process move tags in a processor, but like that might change when we do the gas rewrite anyways. I'm sure it's irrelevant. Yeah, I read through it, and that was all things to do next based on kind of an old architecture. With the new architecture, it's a little irrelevant. Add remove when entity is represented by an actor. Add remove when entity is ISM. That's like a maybe. That's a maybe. Maybe. What is another big thing that I want to do? The parallel processing. I don't need to write that down. I'm gonna get there. Say maybe split velocity processor. That's going to be a hard one to split, though. It's very tightly, like all of the logic in there is very tightly coupled. That's a different section. Use more entity data tags. Attempt to use moving tag. But see, the whole reason I'm using that is because I need it to cancel gameplay effects and stuff like that. So I wonder, attempt to use moving tag instead of gameplay tag. Oh, dead tag. Dead entity tag. Moving entity. So we don't process things that are dead for, like most processors won't want to do anything if the entity is dead. Moving entity tag. We need the, say I need the moving tag so that it cancels gameplay abilities. TikTok is supposed to get banned again in 3 days. Well, I'm sure Trump is going to have to find a way to put his name on the as the savior of it again. Political theater, you know. Meaningless. Abilities. Perhaps I can write a processor that cancels gameplay abilities. And this can kind of be like an iterative approach to replacing the gameplay ability system. I'll probably want to think through that. And I was hoping to kick the can down the road of the gameplay ability system rewrite as far as possible. And maybe it's something I should start considering. Cancels gameplay abilities based on the moving entity tag existing. Is there anything else I would want to do entity data tags for? Move to processor. I was thinking about like maybe doing a little bit more of this inside the state tree. Anything else I want to, like, I think velocity processor is now like the problem child. And getting rid of the move tags on the ability system would speed up the velocity processing. It would. Bounds data. I could put that as optional data. I don't know if that would speed it up or slow it down though. It's like I only do that when necessary. This part, just on its own, could be put in its own processor, which might allow for better cache locality. Maybe split velocity processor. I'll say split control input application to a separate processor. We'll see if that helps. So that's one thing I could do there as well. So it's like the move to processor comes up with the control input. I would have like some input processor, input velocity processor that applies it to the actual velocity, and then a velocity processor that applies it to the transform. And I guess gravity, like I'll attempt to split the gravity out. Split gravity application to a separate processor. And then we'll have to like tally all those different processors up and see if that's faster or slower than having it all in one. Is there anything else? Anything else I want to do here? The rewriting gas is going to be the largest thing there. Rewrite move speed is kind of like what I'm doing there. Attachments. Is there anything I need to consider for attachments to be better? That the role of attachments is going to get quite large. Because right now all that's being attached is a single thing, but they could have an attachment for each piece of gear. So actually that's gonna, being able to do the scene meshes that can be updated on non-game threads is gonna be huge for that. So I hope that's actually more performant. I hope that it is. ECS timer system, rewrite gas. I mean, maybe, should I just start kind of thinking through rewriting gas? So like the first question is like how to handle gameplay tags. Tags in relation to canceling / blocking / activating abilities. Because I could have separate entity data tags for each gameplay tag. That's like boilerplate hell though. I don't want to have to do that. Have a processor that checks, that like applies the tag or whatever. The entity tag as a gameplay tag. That would probably still need to happen on the game thread though, I think, applying the tags and whatnot. I think I just need to get rid of the ability system component altogether. I think is probably Probably what I would need to do. Which, like, what are the main pieces of functionality that I'm using from the gameplay ability system such that I would want to rewrite it? Maybe I just need to break it down piece by piece there. Activating and ending abilities, you know, adding and removing gameplay effects. It's so entangled. You know what I mean? It's like all one ecosystem, the gameplay ability thing is. So I think it's going to be kind of hard to just replace it piece by piece. And then I have my talents and stuff as well. Yeah, I could put attributes into the ECS as well, which would just be, there'd be so much entity data. There would be so much. I already moved targeting and aggro into the ECS, and that was nice. But there's still some ease of use functions that relate to those in here. A lot of these functions are for like when damage is dealt. I need to check out the what is it? Is it the character? Let me just attribute set. Is it colonist? No, yeah. So I think the post gameplay effect execute is where some logic is that kind of handles things here. Health regen, mana, experience. Yeah, God, it's gonna be so thorny. It's gonna be so thorny. I'm gonna have to think about that more deeply. I'm from Italy. What are you actually doing? Hello, over in Italy. I'm working on a video game. I'm working on some performance improvements to my ECS here. We made substantial progress. This is 2,000 entities, all running with like full pathfinding and full state trees, like full AI and stuff like that. So made some really good progress here, and it's gonna get even better. It's gonna get even better. But let me go ahead and show the world. We've been yapping for quite a bit. I can show off the world here. So I'm working on an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain and AI generated quests. And the ECS is for running the entire world. And so I want to run the whole, this is kind of a boring seed, it's all flat. Yeah, that's kind of a bad seed. Try a different one. 723, 724. Here's a nice looking seed. There we go. So there's some procedural terrain getting spawned. And I want to run the whole world. Like, I don't want to just like fake it, or I don't want to turn entities off just to make the world feel alive, right? Like I want, you're going to build a colony, potentially multiple colonies, and there's going to be AI ran colony, or I should say NPC ran colonies in the world as well. And I want all of those to be running. And so here's the world map, procedurally generated as well. Like each pixel on here is a terrain chunk. And so if I zoom out here, like that's one pixel on there. So we're showing 1, 2, 3, 4. We're showing a radius of 4, which is about this big. And the world is this big, so it's a very big world. You could build a colony here in this zone, which is called Frostvale Abyss. And you could go all the way over here to the Cursed Mire, or what is this called? Whisper Storm Hollow, and build a colony here. I want your colony over here to still be running. Like if you have a colony down there and you send them all the way over here to chop trees, I want them to actually have to run all the way over, chop the tree down, and have to take it back. And if there are bandits or wolves in the forest, I want them to get attacked by those. To make the world feel alive and stuff, and to have everything have consequences, right? That's the main thing that I'm looking for here. Very early in the I have been working on this for about 3 years, but I'm very early in the process. All of the look right now is just placeholder assets. They're all just like free for the month assets and stuff. So it will not look like this when it actually comes out. But I'm showing the dynamic tree chopping here. So like, usually what games do is they like swap out the mesh whenever you hit it. I'm actually editing the mesh at runtime. So it's like you can hit it anywhere and it will deform there. Right? I think that's kind of cool. And you can use wood for like, you know, the building system and stuff. Eventually there'll be like a tree chopping skill and a construction skill and something and stuff like that. Foraging skill, of course. And I suppose I could spawn... Let's spawn the entities, actually. Let's rerun that and turn on entity spawning. We've gotten it to a pretty good place so far. It'll be laggy, because we're not done. We're not done with the performance improvements yet. But we'll turn on spawning here and see how that goes. Look at this nice big mountain. We have the underground caves, too. That was a pain in the ass to figure out, but now that I got it working, they look pretty sick. Eventually I'll have ore and stuff spawn down there. You know, very all of Minecraft to give you an actual reason to go down in the caves and stuff. What's the game that you're making? The name. It doesn't have a name yet. I haven't really decided. It's just called My Project right now. So we can show maybe some AI generated quests here. We'll go talk to Bardrick Silverbrook over here. So generate a quest for me while I inspect you. So this is Bardrick Silverbrook, a 33-year-old male elf rogue who is pessimistic and apathetic. So this is AI generated as well. Bardrick's childhood was marked by tragedy and loss, leaving him with a cynical look on life. He drifted from place to place, never staying in one place for too long, haunted by his past. And my name is Gareth Miller. Let's see what quest he generated here. So that was actually sending a request to the Gemini API and dumped my entire item database and everything spawned into the world into the prompt. And I essentially just said, hey, generate me a fantasy RPG video game quest and put it into this JSON format. And then I give it like a bunch of encodings for all the different objectives and stuff. And I've actually given it an array to say like, hey, if you want to spawn something, you can spawn it. And it's actually picked classes from my database to spawn and spawn them into the world. Terrible at picking a location to spawn them in. But, so that's probably something I'll have to handle myself. But for coming up with like the flavor text and stuff, it's quite good. So let's read the quest here. This is called Goblin Troubles that the AI generated here. So a warrior are you? All shining armor and valiant promises, I suppose. Don't get your hopes up. Life usually finds a way to disappoint. All right. Maybe your enthusiasm can actually be useful for once. I have a task, simple enough for a beginner like you, and don't think you can get rich from it. The Merchants Guild, they're being bothered. Goblins, small group, mostly nuisance, but the guildmaster, Old Man Elmsworth, is getting jumpy and offered me a few silvers to deal with them. I would do it myself, but frankly I can't be bothered. Too much effort for so little gain. Head west towards the Whispering Woods, follow the old logging trail. You'll find their little camp a few hours in. Clear them out to bring back proof, like, I don't know, their leader's ear. Don't get killed. And so you can see here in the quest objectives, I have defeat Goblin Leader, obtain Goblin Leader's ear, talk to Elmsworth, and apparently some optional things for obtaining a wooden flute. And then the finishing the quest will be talk to Bardrick Silverbrook. So this will actually require me to like have the leader's ear in my inventory and whatnot. And then I also have it generate some dialogue options. What's so important about this flute? It's none of your concern, just find it. If you find it, it's personal. Don't you dare break it. Why can't you do this yourself? Why bother? What's the point of expending all that energy for a few measly silvers? I'd rather wallow in my misery, thank you very much. And then you can like accept the quest. So yeah, that'll be like an AI generated quest in the game. So I'm running at about 40 FPS right now. And this is without my ECS system optimizations, but I have a 7700X Ryzen processor, 64 gigs of RAM, and a 3080 Ti. I also have some enemies here. Here's a little bit of combat. And then we can heal. Got some healing abilities as well. Boom. Yeah. I've got like bow attacks as well. We'll do some dual wielding potentially. Let me regen some mana here for a second, and maybe I'll just have a quick bite to eat here, recover some health. Okay, I should be able to wait, actually target him. The targeting got weird. So I did a fire enchant, so each of my attacks deal additional fire damage now. There we go. Ding level 2. Ding level 2. Imagine sucking at your own game. Ad God. I hope to suck at my own game. I hope I can make it difficult enough that I can. I close my eyes and it's just vanilla WoW. Love it. Yeah, I'm borrowing some of the sounds and stuff like that because just for placeholders and stuff, you know, just to get a feel for it. But what I do with the world here, let me talk about my inspiration for the world, which is vanilla WoW inspired. So thank you for that good segue. But so if you think about a game like Minecraft or Valheim that has procedural generation in it, the biomes just kind of like flow from one to another, which is really cool, right? They seamlessly blend from one to another, but there's no like actual zones with like names to them. So if you think about something like vanilla WoW, like they have zones in that in WoW, and each of them have names and lore and certain points of interest, you know, certain things, and it's like it's grounded into the world, and I want to go for something like that. And so as I hover over each zone here, you can see up here at the top the zone names. And these are just all AI generated names. Lime Frost Peak, Snowdrift Pass, Pine Top Ridge, Ironvale Ridge, Ember Bloom Basin, I'm in Frostvale Abyss. Eventually I'll tag all the information that a zone spawns with, like what kind of terrain is in it, what resources are in it, what mobs are spawned, what points of interest are there. And I'll give all that to the AI, and I'll let the AI come up with a really flavorful name, right? Like if you can imagine something like, you know, maybe a zone that's very mountainous and rich in iron would be called Ironvale Ridge, right? So you kind of have to imagine what that may look like. This game. This is a game I'm working on. It doesn't have a name or anything at the moment. It's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite combo. But another thing about the WoW zones is not only do they have names and like points of interest and stuff like that that are grounded, but they have like physical borders to them, things that you can't really surpass. It's usually either like a river, or most often it's a mountain range. And so I think that creates this really cool sense of exploration when you go from one zone to another. It just kind of, there's like specific entrances and exits to each zone. So there's a specific way you have to travel through the world. And as you cross the threshold, you may go from a zone that's like the Barrens, which is like an African Sahara type zone, to Ashenvale, which is like a magical enchanted forest. And it's a very stark difference when you cross that threshold, but it's a really fucking cool experience because it's not like Minecraft or Valheim where you can see the other zone as you're walking up to it. Like you only see the zone when you cross that threshold, really. So it kind of like creates this really cool sense of exploration and kind of like awe-inspiring. And I think it's a really cool moment. And so I'm trying to replicate that. And so I put mountains around all of my zones, and then these white dots are the entrances from zone to zone. But you'll notice that not every zone has an entrance to each zone that it's next to. I did that on purpose. So you can do multiple things here. And I'm getting laggy. There's more entities spawned here. But with the building system, you could build some stairs all the way up if you had enough resources, or you could dig through with the destructible terrain. Or sometimes the randomly generated cave could lead to a really nice scenario like this, where it generates a cave through the mountain. And I'm getting really laggy because we're just spawning more and more entities as time goes on. But then you cross that threshold and you get this like, and this is the same biome. These two zones had the same biome, but it could create this really cool moment. What is this? Executed bound. Uh-oh, this is a new one. He was trying to interact with an object. We're executing a delegate that I guess doesn't exist. Can I skip, please? Skip, please. Okay, we'll have to figure that out later. I am going to hop off soon, but did want to talk about the game a little bit. What am I using? I'm using the Gemini API because it's fast, cheap, and it has the million context window. So that is the Main reason that because I want to dump like all of my lore into the prompt, right? Everything that the player has done in the game, all the quests that they've completed, right? To kind of build a really flavorful story for the player to kind of experience the rest of the gameplay elements that I have, you know, the Colony Sim stuff, and I'll probably do some colony to colony interactions through the LLM and stuff like that. The building stuff reminds me of Rust. Is it similar? No. It's an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite. And there is a building system as a part of that, and you'll build a colony, and you'll have colonists that you recruit that you know, you can talk to, and you'll have different social relationships in your colony, and they'll have different skill levels and different temperaments and different traits that make them good or bad at certain things. And so you might want to find like a really good blacksmith so that you know, that can craft you and the rest of your colonists really good gear and stuff like that. Also, how about you add Assassin's Creed mechanics? Yeah, if only it was that easy to just add mechanics from a AAA game. Yeah, it's not so easy. So yeah, that was just a little look here. I do be having to get off though, unfortunately. I have to go do work. Let's check out one more seed. 725. So these are the mountain ranges that I was talking about that surround each zone. Yeah, you can see the different texture over here. They're only slightly different at the moment. We'll be doing some more work on that. And yeah, only generating a very small portion of the world. There is much more. There is much more to be generated. Yeah, this one's not a bad seed. It's not a bad seed. So every player got their own specific world. Oh yeah, I mean, it's like Minecraft, right? Like you can make as many worlds as you want. Like Minecraft in that you can give it a seed to generate, right? Whenever you create a character. Or like Valheim, another game that does that. But yeah, I have to be hopping off now, so let's find someone to raid. See if we can find someone to raid. A lot of people streaming today. Who should we raid that we haven't in a while? We could keep it in the Unreal Engine family, or let's see, how many do we have on YouTube? Not very many on YouTube that I can send over. I think on Twitch we're going to go hang out with Shawnee B, who's working on a turn-based Dark Souls in Unreal Engine as well. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out with me today. It was a fun stream. I had fun, so thank you all for joining me. Hopefully we'll be back on tomorrow for some more game dev. Yeah, very happy with the progress we made today, even though I was just yapping for most of it. We got some solid performance improvements in, and we'll just continue to work on that. But I think I need to really break down what big things I need to do next for the ECS system, and I think that's going to have to be rewriting the gameplay ability system. Rewriting Unreal Engine systems once again. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your day.